The phone vibrated while I was scrubbing porcelain. Not ringing, buzzing, insistent. A toilet bowl stared back at me. My reflection warped in its curve, older, smaller, obedient. The building was quiet, after hours quiet, the kind that makes humiliation echo. Legacy burden. He'd said to HR, I heard it through the door. Soft, casual, like a label on a box you plan to throw away. I pressed the brush deeper, hard enough to feel it in my wrist. My phone buzzed again. If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes. My daughter-in-law shouted over voicemail, laughter in the background. Someone clinked a glass. I wiped my hands, replied with one word, enjoy. The buzz returned. Not family, not work. A number I didn't recognize. Washington, D.C. I stared at the toilet. Thought of the code I wrote, the models I built, $200,000 of my life, my nights, my belief, now wearing my boss's name like a stolen watch. Hello, I said. A woman spoke carefully, like every word had weight. Sir, we'd like you to testify. The toilet flushed. The sound felt ceremonial. He was 35. Trim beard. Confidence borrowed from other people's work. When he arrived, he shook my hand too firmly. Asked questions he already knew the answers to. Took notes on a legal pad he never opened again. I watched him listen. I watched him learn where the bones were buried. 2 months later, my access vanished. Passwords reset. My name removed from the repository. He smiled in meetings and said we a lot. He stopped inviting me to them. HR called me in. The room smelled like lemon cleaner. Performance realignment, they said. Then quieter. Facilities needs help. I nodded. I've learned when nodding saves energy. What I didn't know, what he assumed I'd never see, was the filing. The IP transfer, the emails where he described my work as legacy debris, claimed I was slowing innovation. He took my 200K prototype to investors. He slept well. At home, contempt grew legs. Thanksgiving invitations turned into chores. Respect is a fragile thing. It breaks loudly when money leaves the room. I kept nodding. I kept cleaning. Inside, something cold took notes. I didn't confront him. I observed. I pulled my own commit logs. Time-stamped, immutable. I cross-referenced meeting calendars with investor decks. I requested copies of emails through a discovery pretext. Old habit. Old rules. At night, I reconstructed the architecture from memory. Every shortcut. Every risk he never understood. Externally, I was invisible. The man who mopped floors after midnight. The burden. Internally, I built a timeline. When he testified to the board, he used my phrasing. When he filed patents, he forgot to remove my variable names. When he signed too confidently. The call from D.C. came again. Then again. Whistleblower protections are in place, they said. I pictured his face when the word protections reached him. How he'd search the room for exits. At Thanksgiving, my phone stayed face down. Laughter leaked through messages I didn't open. Dishes clattered in my imagination like applause. I booked a flight I didn't tell anyone about. Calm is not forgiveness. It's preparation. The report arrived as a PDF. 47 pages. My life footnoted. I read it once. Then again. In the conference room, he sat across from me, surprised to see me there. He glanced at my shoes, still janitor black. Can I help you? He asked. I slid the folder across the table. Didn't speak. He flipped, smiled, then slowed. The color left his face in stages. This is confidential, he said. I know, I replied. My voice didn't shake. It didn't need to. He laughed once, high, wrong. You don't understand, he said. This is how it works. I watched his hands. They were trembling. He kept turning pages he already recognized. When he looked up, his eyes were wet. I stood, adjusted my coat. I testified yesterday, I said. Silence landed like a verdict. Congress is colder than any office. They asked me to explain. I did, slowly, without adjectives. I showed them the commits, the dates, the transfers, the intent. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't say his name until they asked. When they did, I said it clearly. Back home, my phone rang 71 times. Missed calls from family, from HR, from people who suddenly remembered my middle name. Photos leaked online. Me on a balcony in Switzerland. The villa I bought quietly after the settlement cleared. Glass, snow, silence. My daughter-in-law called again. Softer this time. I let it ring. He didn't call. He couldn't. Lawyers spoke for him now. When the sentence came down, I was making coffee. Prison is loud on television. Quiet in real life. I didn't celebrate. I closed a chapter. Power doesn't shout, it exits. I walk through rooms differently now. Not bigger. Just unafraid of being unseen. Betrayal taught me accuracy. It stripped me down to what can't be stolen. Sometimes I remember the toilet, the echo, the buzz of a phone that changed everything. I don't feel anger anymore. Anger is inefficient. I feel distance, and distance is freedom.